Hi everyone, it's Sally from A Homespun Hobby, and I am still working on Small Town, which is, let's see, 100 by 25 centimeters. And Small Town is a small little village. I don't have the picture. I don't have the picture right here. But Small Town is that tiny winter village of, no, the tiny village in the winter. There we go. And there's teeny tiny little Christmas trees. There's like one right here, and there's one right here. So I am doing this because I want to have this done before next year. So I'm going to do, there we go, I'm going to unroll it. There we go. And I'm going to work on code 4 today, which is 322. And I have a lot of 322 because this is the sky. And today is, February 6th, 2021. And I'm saying that because I just put a sale on my website, A Homespun Hobby, 40% off my paintings, the diamond paintings that have the double-sided adhesive, except this one. I don't think I have this on the site listed right now. If I do, it's hidden. So 40% off double-sided adhesives while supplies last. And I'm doing that because I can now get poured glue with a minimum of one painting from my manufacturer. So I am going to have poured glue from now on. So I had a memory flashback in my mind of a comment someone made. And I wanted to ask you, what would you do? So this is a what would you do question. Now, please comment below what you would do. And if people are interested and they do make comments, please, if somebody posts a comment that you don't agree with, please just skip over it. I don't want to start a fight. I just want to ask a question. What would you do? So years ago, I worked from home and I was part of a forum of other people that work from home, men and women. So, and it was a pretty active group. It's closed down now. I think the woman who started it had health problems and she suddenly disappeared and the bill stopped being paid and it went away. So, anyway, so I was reading this woman's opinion, or she said that she had a play date for her children. Now, I don't know how old the children were. I don't know this woman's financial status. So keep that in mind. You never know what people are going through. But she said that she had set up a play date for her children. And the friend of the children asked or told her she was hungry, or they were hungry, or asked if they had something to eat or something like that. And the woman came onto the forum to complain. She thought it was rude. And, like I said, I don't know how old the children were, but this child, if it was a play date, they were too young to be on their own. A child went to her and said they were hungry. And this woman thought it was rude. And I'm thinking, a child? A child told you they were hungry and you thought it was rude? That's something I think you learn as you get older. You don't ask for things like that, but this child was too young. And I don't know why this woman was offended, and I don't know why she thought it was rude. Maybe she was in a position in her life where she couldn't afford to share food, and that everything was accounted for so that she could feed her own children. But I was pretty blown away by that, and I asked a friend of mine, What would you do if one of your son's children, or what would you do if one of your son's friends came to you and said they were hungry? And she looked at me and she said, give them a sandwich? And so I'm curious, would you feed a child who was at your house visiting, who asked for food, who didn't wait for lunch or didn't wait to be offered a snack, but just came up to you and asked you for food? And do you think it's rude? Would you feed them? And, as you get older, when you're a teenager and you go over to your friends' houses and you decide you're going to go get a pizza or McDonald's or something, you split the cost, right? And as adults, if you ask a friend to go out to dinner, like just a friend, you expect to, if someone asks you to go out to dinner, a friend, not a date, you expect to pay your own way. You don't expect them to pay for you unless they insist it's their treat, right? And now, my son's friends come over and I tell them, help yourself to anything. You can have anything you want, any food you want. So I open the door to that so they don't have to ask. Now, not everybody takes advantage of that because they feel uncomfortable doing that, but some people are like, sure, all right, I'll help myself. And they look at it as they've been friends with my son for more than half their life, and they're welcome in my home, and it's okay for them to do that. I'm okay for them to do that. When years ago, I had a friend who worked for a Swedish-based company. It's a telephone company. Geez, I could probably remember it if I thought about it. A Swedish-based telephone company, and they put phone systems in corporate offices. So this was before voicemail. Ericsson. So my friend met this guy who came over from Sweden, and they fell in love, and they got married here, and then she moved over to Sweden and got married there. And she came home for vacation, and I had Fritos on the top of my fridge. I don't know why. I was in an apartment, so that might have been my only space for snacks. Or I just had them there instead of in my pantry. But she saw them Fritos and she grabbed them and started shoving them into her mouth. And I just thought it was funny because we had been friends for the longest time and I didn't mind at all. And I'm glad that she felt comfortable to do that. But to be honest, I wouldn't go to anybody's house and help myself to anything unless they said it. But it's just how you're brought up or what you feel comfortable doing and who you're with. So I'm just curious. And again, please, no arguing. We're all brought up differently. We're all taught differently. We're all told what's right and what's wrong, according to our parents. So if you see something that you disagree with, please just don't comment. Because I don't want to start an argument. I just want to have a conversation. That's all. So I am doing this in the daytime. Usually I do this at night, and then I have a hard time seeing the codes because of the reflection. And these are a little hard to see because the codes are written in like a dark gray, and this is a blue gray. So I can see them okay, but I do have my cheaters on. Some of the symbols are different though, too. Well, maybe they look different because there's a tiny river there. And, I've always said I use my pen for, I do the checkerboard pattern, and then I use my pen to place these in the middle because it's easier, and now I'm doing it with the tweezers. This is my lipstick pen, by the way. I love this thing. I think it's so cute. Now, I don't wear makeup, but I thought this was adorable, and I love that it's lavender. And if you need a big fat pen, it's comfortable to hold up here. If you don't, you can hold it here, if you just like makeup or just think it's cute. I have these in pink, and there's a seafoam green on my website, homespunhobby.com. So I watched someone in Australia today, and I want to think of her name. Diamond painting with Grace. That's who I watched. And I watched a fairly new video for her, and she was unboxing a Diamond Art Club painting. And she has quite the personality. I enjoyed her. So I work a lot. I'm a merchandiser, and I have had a lot of work lately. And I come home and I think I want to diamond paint, and then I do everything that needs to get done before I get in bed to be comfortable, and then I crash and I don't want to diamond paint. I've done that the last couple of nights. So today I thought it's the middle of the day, and I have my coffee, and I'm going to do some diamond painting. I'm going through my son's wardrobe, washing everything, and I told him, pick out what you like to wear, pick out what you don't want to wear anymore, and we'll donate. He's like, I don't want to get rid of anything. Yeah, okay. So when he's not around, I'm going to get rid of a few shirts. So I don't know. He likes to keep everything. Probably, you know what? He probably just didn't want to go through it. I folded up everything, put it right on the couch next to him. Look at these. Tell me what you don't wear anymore. Oh, I'm not going to get rid of anything. Okay. So, you know those things that go around Facebook about don't wait. If you're thinking of somebody, call them and let them know. Or life is short. That is so true. I worked with someone at Barnes & Noble several years ago, and we did not socialize outside of work. He is about 10 or so years older than me. Just a nice guy and just a lot of fun. What did I do with my tweezers? Did you guys see what I wrote down? Type in the comments and maybe I'll find them later. Okay. So anyway, this guy was just a lot of fun. And like, for example, we were at work and I was working at customer service with him. And he said something like, oh, you look a little flustered. You must not be able to stand next to me with all this handsomeness stuff. No, with all this handsomeness and charm. And I patted my stomach, put my hand over my mouth, pretended to burp, and said, oh, nope, that wasn't it. And then one time a customer walked up to him, or was it I think it was my boss, and we were both standing at customer service again. And my boss spoke to him, and I looked at him, I said, what's that orange thing on your ankle? You know, little innocent jokes like that. Well, this guy's main job was helping people find careers or jobs. He owned his own business for a while, doing something like that, and I think he did that a couple of times. And he would help people find work, like an employment agency, that's what it is, or a temporary agency. And now my son is in Job Corps, and when my son went to check out Job Corps, we said, oh, you know, the guy that helps kids find jobs when they finish their trade is going to come meet with us. Well, in walks this guy. And I was so happy to see him, and I gave him a hug, and I got his cell phone number, and we're like, oh, let's catch up. But of course we never did, because people say that and they mean it in the moment, and then, you know, nothing ever comes of it. But he called me at home a couple of times to talk about my son, and I called him a couple of times to talk about my son. And so when he was working, we only talked about my son and Job Corps. You know, we caught up a little bit, but really he was in the middle of the day. It was in the middle of the day, and we were both working, so we didn't have time for personal conversations. Well, my son's friend decided to withdraw from Job Corps, and I was heartbroken. I'm not going to go into his background story, but I wanted to encourage him to go back to Job Corps and finish his education and learn a trade. So I called this guy because I wanted to know if somebody resigns from Job Corps, can they or are they eligible to go back? And so I called him, and his phone went straight to voicemail, so I figured he's working and he's got his own cell phone shut off. So I didn't hear back from him, so I texted him. Didn't hear back from him. A couple days later, I called him. Phone went to voicemail again. I thought, well, again, it's a work day, and he's working. He's got his cell phone off. But I didn't understand why he wasn't getting back to me. And then this past week, I think Tuesday or Wednesday. Oh, I should tell you, this guy came to my house with another worker because of COVID, you know, the kids aren't in Job Corps right now, and they try to keep in touch with the kids, and they were dropping off goodie boxes. They brought this box full of snacks. And this guy wanted to come with this worker to my house to surprise me and say hello. So I was working, and I missed him, and I was sorry that I did, but I was glad to know that he came to see my son, because he helps kids find jobs, so he kind of does, he doesn't work as closely with the kids as other people do. So anyway, my son calls me at work Tuesday or Wednesday to tell me that this guy died. And it just blew me apart because I had been trying to get a hold of him. And we weren't close. We were co-workers. We enjoyed each other's company at work. We didn't socialize outside of work, but still, we had a friendly fondness for each other. And I just devastated. And I was very proud of my son for delivering the news. He's 18. And when I got home, I called this worker. It was the same woman who came into my house with him. And my son told me that she called him and she was just crying. She couldn't stop crying. And so I called her because I thought that she was calling all the kids to let them know, and maybe she did. But after she got the news and she was able to pull herself together, because she was telling me she was hysterical. Of course, it's a coworker and a friend to her. And she said, you were the first one that I called. And usually she calls my son and he doesn't answer the phone, and then she calls me. But my son answered the phone, so she gave him the news. So, when you think of people and you wonder how they're doing, call and find out. Tomorrow is not promised. I don't know what happened. This worker doesn't know what happened. All she knew was that he went to the hospital in the middle of February, and he let his coworkers know that he was only going to be in the hospital for a couple of days, and whatever tests he had came back negative. I've been looking for an obituary. I haven't seen one yet. Maybe they're not going to put one in because they can't have a funeral anyway, but still, I know he has children, but I don't know how close he is to them. When my mother died 6 years ago, we put a short obituary in the paper, and it was $750. So sometimes maybe people can't do that. So anyway, pick up the phone and call your friends. Don't send them a text. Don't send them an email. Make it personal. Let them know that you care. I'm finding out that I like squares much better than round, because I think it was Little Worlds of Wonder. I watched her video on doing squares, and she talked about the checkerboard pattern. Other people talked about the checkerboard pattern. So I tried it and I don't have a problem with it, and I like it already much better than rounds. And the rounds do have too much space between the circles to see, and you can see the canvas behind the circles. But you know what? If you like rounds, that's okay. I'm still going to have them on my website. Sometimes rounds are just easier for people, and squares are easier for some people. Let's see, and I'm starting to get faster. I knew that I would eventually, and I notice it now. But I'm still slower than most people. Give you a peek. I like the way they're coming out. I can't tell if you can see this because I've got my computer slanted so it can pick this up. And I'm doing this upside down on you. The birds started singing. I live in Massachusetts, and it's March, and it's a very windy month. And one morning it was, 4 days ago, it was 12 degrees in the morning. The next day it was 40 at the same time. And the day after that it was 22. And in New England, and probably in a lot of different areas, spring is going to start at the end of the month. And the snow is melting. So it's very muddy. And it's also a windy month, so people will go out and fly kites. You'd think a tornado was coming with the speed of the wind that goes through here in March. But I've been listening. The other day I heard a singular bird. Maybe that was a week ago. And then the other day I heard a mourning dove. And this morning I heard 2 birds singing. And I'm aware of it this year because I'm waiting for it. Usually I just, in the spring when it's warm enough to open up my windows, I open them up and enjoy the bird singing. What I miss is the peepers because I don't live near a body of water. So I don't hear the peepers. So sometimes I'll put that on YouTube or on YouTube and listen to the peepers when I go to sleep. That's what we call tree frogs. I was talking to somebody one time, I don't remember where they were from, and she said, "What are peepers?" And I think I pulled up a YouTube video and played it. She said, "Oh, okay, I know what those are." And I said, "Well, what do you call them?" She said, "Frogs." I'm like, okay. Let's see. Oh, okay, I wanted to tell you something. So, most of you know that China just had their New Year's celebration. There's no factory in the United States who makes these paintings, so I do have to go to China to get them done. There's a lot of diamond painting companies, retail companies based in the US, but there's no factories. So 2 weeks before China goes on their holiday, the entire country shuts down for 2 weeks. So 2 weeks before this happens, they stop taking orders because they want to be able to process all their orders before they leave for vacation for 2 weeks. And then when they get back, of course, there's orders that had come in via email. And I just put a crooked one down. So they take care of those orders that came in via email. And I saw on the news that sometimes when the Chinese holiday is over, workers just abandon their jobs. They don't go back and they don't tell their boss. So when the company opens up, they don't know how many people are going to show up to work. And that happened in my factory. I had my order all set, and I messaged my contact over there. His name is Bryant. And we talked about the order and the sizes and round and square and anything, pretty much anything I place, any order I place is a custom to them because I don't buy their stock inventory. As I send in orders, they keep a file of my paintings, and so when I order them again, they're not custom because they're already in the system. So Brian got back to me that the factory is not taking any new orders for a while, any more orders for a while, because they have to catch up with what came in while they were away, and they're not up to 100% because a lot of the workers didn't show back up to work. And it's going on, I want to say maybe 2 weeks now, week and a half, 2 weeks. And my order is sitting there, but they're not doing anything with it. They've got to hire people and train people and finish their orders and pack them up, ship them out. And I felt so bad because I had a limit. I had a notice on my website, you know, because of COVID and because of the Chinese New Year, then my stock is limited to what I have here in Massachusetts. And then I took that down and I put all my paintings back up and the orders rushed in and I can't fill them. Lesson learned, because I had ordered a bunch of stuff before they went on their holiday, so I had stock here in the US. But next year I'm going to know to place an even bigger order before their holiday so that this won't happen next year to me. And also because I'm now getting poured glue for everything, we are using a different factory. So most of the stuff is custom. Again, the stuff that I have on sale that is the double-sided tape, that's going to be all new orders again for me, new customs. Because I don't order their stock stuff, and I have the Old Masters and royalty-free images. And I just got licensing rights for Lori Kajena for her painting Yummy that I have up there. And of course, my cousin Diane. I have rights to sell her photographs and artwork. And then there's another artist I am going to get the rights to. Their work or her work is exclusive for a period of time. And I was looking at this one piece of art and I was thinking about it, and then I went back and it was taken off the website. So somebody else got that. So I thought, all right, so it wasn't meant to be. So I need to watch them closely for when their artwork becomes available. Again, that's not exclusive to some companies. Their artwork, her artwork is all over AliExpress, and it's really a shame because all these people are selling this artwork illegally, and I'm not selling it because I don't have the rights to it. So it's kind of a bummer, you know, you want to do the right thing and then, yeah, you always want to do the right thing. Integrity is how you act when nobody's looking, right? And that is so true. I remind myself of that so often. Integrity is how you act when no one is looking. Okay, I think there's a couple more 4s I can do down here. Oh, I got some new dollhouses in. After I'm done with this, I'm going to start writing up descriptions for the dollhouses, and I have taken one of them out of the box and taken a picture of the kit, and it's called Because of You. and it's a room kit, and I have that on the website, and I have 3 others that I'm going to write up a description for and put those on the website. I think I'm done with number 4 for now, so I'm going to call this WIP and chat to an end. All right. If you see this, I hope you can see that squares really aren't that scary. Can you see? Yeah, you can see that. That's good. And they're fairly straight. I mean, it's not perfect, but I'm pleased with the way they came out. I think I'm looking at these 2 right here, and I'm going to straighten those. Anyway, all right. Thanks for watching. Visit homespunhobby.com. Take advantage of this sale. 40% off. Double-sided adhesive while supplies last. Bye-bye, everybody. Have a great Sunday.